I love. We will play living room, I promise. We play all the hits. We're like that ABBA group. But not ABBA, the one that, what are they called? Bjorn again? We're like Bjorn again. We play all the ABBA hits, but they're Tegan Sara songs, but yeah. We're playing 19. Just let it out. Tell us what you want. I always expect them to yell things that they want. I wrote this next song a couple years ago now. It still kind of makes me sad when I play it. Kind of like Sarah, I don't listen to our records very often, but my neighbors upstairs do. So that's weird sometimes. Especially when it's 3 in the morning and I'm like, sometimes I play our music really loud too, just so they think I'm a fan too. Let's cut down on my jamming though. I'm self-conscious, I don't want to figure it out. I Twitter about it sometimes and people are always like, why don't you go up and say hi? They'll be like, whoa. And I'm like, no, probably not. They'll probably just be like, oh. You live downstairs, huh? My apartment's worth more than yours. You're in the basement and I'd be like, so give me a break. Anyway, when I wrote this song, I lived in a house. And it was across from a park. And after dark, I lived on the edge of a really terrible area in Vancouver, but also one of my favorite areas. And after dark, all the drug addicts, and they come out of that bad area and they spread out through my neighborhood and they go through people's cars. And everybody in the neighborhood knows this, so they leave their cars unlocked because it's easier to just not have anything in your car than to have to get your windows fixed and have to break them. And I used to sit up there and talk on the phone, and there was this one person that used to come through the neighborhood, you know, she was so thin and rough looking, but she had such a positive attitude. And I'd be on the phone and she would just be like, I'd go into the car and I'd be like, it wasn't on my car, it was my roommate's car, and we used to just howl because there was a giant box of cassette tapes on the front seat and we never took them, but I'd see her going through and being like, no.
I know I'm not making, I mean, the neighborhood is so fascinating and those people are so, it's heartbreaking and it's such a tough thing, like, to know exactly what to do to help the people of that neighborhood. But for whatever reason, while you were telling that story, when you said that that the people would come and go through the cars and that everybody just lets them, it made me think about when you go camping and you let raccoons eat your food. And there's a part of you that they sort of like, they will come up and they'll take your food and then they'll eat but close to you sort of, and it's sort of like you're living in harmony with the nature of the thing. No, but seriously, like, I mean, I know it sounds like a really weird analogy, like I'm comparing very, very, very ill people, mentally ill and often very, very sick physically and addicted to drugs, but sometimes raccoons are like that too, like they're so... They really are. I know it sounds so funny, but...
Actually, there's a lot of raccoons in the neighborhood.
There are a lot of raccoons.
They used to visit me, and one time one quite large one actually chased me into my own house. And
that's what I'm saying, is you have to be really careful about how you interact with people when you kind of take over their neighborhood. Because you kind of live in their neighborhood, it's not really the other way. When you go camping, like, it's almost like you're saying to the raccoons, like, thank you for letting us set our tent and make mojitos on your property, and if you want some marshmallows, you as long as you take them 10 or 12 feet away from the fire and dust, you can go ahead and take a couple.
Well, kind of similar, definitely. Maybe closer than my album baby analogy, but I don't know. Anywho, one time I was out for drinks and one of those lovely neighborhood people put a 12-foot ladder against the back of my house and climbed up and broke into my house while I was gone. And, I was out and my phone rang. It was my landlord, and they never called me, so I answered, "Hello." And they're like, "Are you in the house?" Just a terrifying way to answer the phone. Immediately, I thought of Lost Highways and that weird guy that's talking to the other weird guy. Thank you. The weird guy is talking to the other weird guy, and then he answers his phone, and the weird guy that's looking at him is on the phone as well. He's like, "I'm in your house." And he fucked me up for fucking months, years. I think about that, and that would be the end of my night's sleep. But anyway, so he says, "Are you in the house?" And I was like, "No, I'm out for drinks." And he's like, "Somebody's in the house." And I was like, so I rode my BMX bike. Quick on baby on the back, and raced back to the house just in time. Like the police were already there. They'd gone through the house with the K9 team, and one of the dogs ripped apart one of my pillows, and I was like, God, it's gonna be tough to clean up. But anyway, the only thing they took was my digital camera, and it's been about 4 years, and I still think, was there any pictures on that camera? What moment is missing from my iPhoto? I don't know. So I retraced my steps quite a few times. I don't think there was anything substantial. Probably just a lot of this. I was in one of those stages when you're like a girl and you send photos of yourself like this all the time. You know what I'm saying? Anyway.